Greetings, YouTube. This past week at the Sydney Opera House, there has been a festival. And at it, a number of women have been discussing having a series of talks called What I Couldn't Say. Discussing things that they don't normally bring up in public because of the ramifications if they do. These are public figures. These are women who have public Twitter accounts, and they are writers, and they are videographers. They are in the public eye. And because they are women in the public eye, they have put up with a level of harassment and threats, both of rape and death, that is horrific. And one of the women that spoke at this festival is Anita Sarkeesian. Now that's a very hot button name, I guess, to use. It's a lightning rod. It tends to draw people to one pole or the other. And there's no way to separate Anita Sarkeesian from Gamergate, which I've spoken about before. And in this brief talk that Anita Sarkeesian gives, and I recommend people to go look at it, it's like a 5-minute video. Also, Tara Moss's video, which runs around 7 minutes, is also very good. She discusses the things that she has to put up with on a regular basis. How she must always be hypervigilant about every action and word that she says. About how when someone recognized her at a grocery store, she asked them never to mention where that grocery store is, for fear of her life. The casual way she discussed the fact that when she gets a death threat, she just does a screen cap, forwards it to the FBI, blocks the person, and moves on with her day. Now, I've had a very tiny taste of that myself, where I've received threats of rape and death. And I have a folder that I've kept here on my computer of people I consider to be legitimately dangerous. Keeping an eye on them, making sure that if they pop back up on my radar that I will in fact contact the authorities. One nutbag was even bold enough to publicly give me his contact information and then wanted me to contact him for a face-to-face confrontation. And that kind of thing is scary. I can't imagine how terrifying it is when it isn't a handful of violent men, of threatening men, but when it's thousands of them. When it is a tsunami of them, a mob of misogynists coming after her every single day. Anita Sarkeesian is a hero. And she is worthy of all the respect in the world because she keeps on fighting. There are times I don't make videos about certain topics because even though I think they're important, I don't want to deal with the backlash that I'm going to receive. There are times when I don't respond to commenters on my channel or on other videos because I don't want to deal with the backlash if I gave an honest and sincere opinion. And all of this hate was aimed at Anita Sarkeesian because she dared to express an opinion. Now, if a man had expressed the identical opinions to Miss Sarkeesian, it would have been a 30-second blip on the internet's radar. They might have been shouted down for poor research, or that they weren't intelligent enough to comment on it, or that they weren't a real gamer, or something like that. But then it would have blown over, and everyone would have gone back to their life as gamers on the internet. Because remember, this is all about video games. A pastime. Because someone expressed an opinion about a pastime, they have been hounded across the planet. They have received regular threats of rape and death. And the reason that she has received these threats, this harassment, is because she is a woman expressing that opinion. Because a woman dared critique something that a very large group of men have always considered to be their personal bailiwick. That was an unforgivable crime. That was a crime worthy of endless harassment and threats. And I will brook no bullshit that this is about ethics in gaming journalism. There have never been ethics in gaming journalism. Not ever. Gaming journalists and the producers of video games have been in bed with each other since day one. Just look at the absurdity in their rating systems, in magazines, with huge ads and articles and reviews about those very same games and those very same issues. There has never been ethics in gaming journalism. That is nothing but a smokescreen to hide the misogyny and the hatred and the sexism of a whole lot of very angry men. Now, I'm going to link directly to the video, and I'm going to link to a conversation on Metafilter, which is very good. And one of the reasons I love Metafilter so much, it is that it's a place where I can read about very intelligent people who aren't misogynists, who aren't sexists, who see Gamergate for the BS that it is, who understand that. And near the bottom, there's a link to an article about someone that had one time been a supporter of the Gamergate position. And it was when he realized, or she, I actually don't know what their gender is, who they are, was that their anger towards the people involved in this was simply an externalization and a projection of their anger at themselves for an unrelated reason. That they were just angry. And they latched onto this thing as an outlet for that anger. And they were able to talk to like-minded people in the echo chamber of Gamergate and just feed on each other. Eventually this person was thankfully able to break out of that and move on. But this kind of loathsome sexism and misogyny is sickening. Because that is what this is all about. A woman dared to express an opinion, dared to critique something that many men considered to be their personal arena. If a man had said those things, none of this would have happened. No man would have received the sexualized and gendered slurs that Miss Sarkeesian does. No man would have received threats of rape like Miss Sarkeesian does. And no man would receive death threats over expressing an opinion about video games. Now, I consider video games an art form. I love watching playthroughs. Well, good playthroughs. But it's just a pastime. Just like the pastime behind me on my wall. No one should be harassed. No one should have to receive slurs and rape threats and death threats because of role-playing games any more than someone should do it because of video games. Anita Sarkeesian is a hero. And I hope someday that law enforcement will take these threats that she's receiving far more seriously than they are now. And make sure that people are protected from these mobs online. Because we need to. Because everyone is deserving to feel safe. That they should be able to speak about innocuous things like critiques of a pastime and not have to worry about harassment and slurs and rape threats and death threats. All because